And we are back with Professional Wrestling, the podcast with Jonathan, Taimoor, the chosen lawyers, real estate and corporate law at Cormans LP. But today we're not talking about real estate, Taimoor. You are back on. We are talking about the wacky world of wrestling. And we're going to be recapping the event of the year or semi-event of the year that was in the world of wrestling, and that was SummerSlam 2023.
Yeah, lots happened at that event. I think kind of a good turning point for things to come for the rest of the year in the WWE. Yeah, exciting stuff.
It's supposed to. And before we get over to that wacky world, as of the date of taping, SummerSlam is gone, but we're looking forward to the next event. Payback's coming in Pittsburgh in September, but in a couple of days, we got SmackDown in Toronto. I'm going to be attending that one. I got my
Uh,
tickets. So love seeing live wrestling. I was at SummerSlam at Ford Field. I will talk about that. I started my first ever chant in an arena.
okay, nice.
That
What
was
channel was
pretty
that?
cool. Let's put it this way: Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey do not like me after the chant that
Oh,
I started. But before I talk about that one, you notice some new additions here. JP El Khoury, Jean Pierre, so another one of our hosts on the show. He was over in Tampa, Florida. He was over at the Hulk Hogan shop, and he asked me if I wanted anything. So one of the things I told him I had to have that shirt.
yeah,
Recognize that one?
yeah, Thunderclips, yeah.
Over from the Rocky series. So
Rocky,
that was back when
yeah.
Hulk Hogan thought he was also a movie star and before Mr. Nanny. And from a taping over at Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate, they gave me the gift there of the action figurines of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. So it is
Giant.
a Hulk Hogan theme
Hulkamania is running wild. Oh, on this Ric Flair, yeah.
plus Ric Flair because you always got to have a
Yeah,
little Ric Flair in your life.
of course, yeah. Always need
So
that Ric Flair drip.
So talking about drip, talking about excitement, let's just jump right into it. So today we're going to do our first of two recaps. I know you all saw SummerSlam, you know what happened, but we're going to tell you our scoops and what we think about all of this. So we're going to summarize today four matches. First one I'm going to jump into is the Slim Jim Battle Royal. Uh live and in person, I didn't see much mention at all of Slim Jim on TV. Was it any different?
No, yeah, they had it the entire time in the corner of the screen, right? And I think the announcers made a reference to it at least like 4 or 5 times. So
So it was like the Mountain Dew pitch
yes,
black
yes,
match.
very much
Uh,
so.
and you know how they love to do these sponsor matches now, but I'll tell you, in the arena itself, you had no idea about the Slim Jim thing. So it was interesting that they didn't go
Exactly.
about
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, I
Any
figured.
any surprise for you as far as the winner on this one?
No, not at all. I think everyone knew that. If anything, if the person who won it, well, there's no spoilers. Obviously, if Ellie and I did win, um, then um, then I think that would have set the tone for a very negative show, right? For everyone in there. Yeah.
Now, as far as the entrants go, we knew most of them in there. A little surprised that Omos did return. We were wondering when he's coming back because
Yeah.
they are reforming the new Hurt Business, obviously,
Mhm.
with the
Mhm.
suit profits. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if Omos is gonna be part of that. You know, he did his thing for a little while. It was fine, but nobody thought he was gonna win it. Certainly.
Mhm. Mhm.
What was your biggest surprise of this match? I'll tell you what mine was, and it may surprise you. So, from watching that battle royal, did you have any surprises besides Omos?
No, actually, I wasn't even surprised by Omos, to be honest. It's just that's the type of match that's just made for him, right? And then you just get like that cheap pop, and everyone kind of gangs in and jumps him. What I was surprised was, I guess the thing that surprised me the most was that they still had like they're still kind of pushing Sheamus as much as they are. I mean, like, yeah, he's a good worker, works hard, has been there for a long time, right? And he had that really exciting run like kind of last year where he kind of, when he was going for that IC title around WrestleMania this year too, going into this year into WrestleMania. Like, yes, he did put in the work, but just it kind of, seems that his momentum died down a bit. And now they're kind of pushing that back up. or still trying to continue. So I was surprised that he was the finalist. I thought it was going to come down to LA Knight and possibly Action. What do you call it, Bronson Reed, right? But yeah, that kind of surprised me is how much they're still pushing him.
Now, he did not get an entrance theme song.
Right, right, yeah.
On TV, did you notice? So really, let's be honest, okay? This is what we call the Jobber Battle Royal. Like you have the Jobber poker games, right?
Hmm.
Back when you had Baron Corbin, with JBL and Alpha Academy, and those boys really hang around doing poker. To me, this was nothing more than really a Jobber Battle Royal. And it was kind of embarrassing when you saw all the jobbers walk in order and they don't get their music and all that. And a few guys did get their music. I'll tell you my surprise. And when I saw this, I knew his days were numbered, and that's Austin Theory.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
What the heck was he doing in the Jobber Battle Royals? Number one. Number two, he's the freaking champ, or was. He
Yeah,
didn't get a theme song. The
yeah,
Miz
yeah.
got his theme song, but A Town Down did not play. He must have felt pretty low walking down with those jobbers down to the ring.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Like if anything, like they should have had a separate entrance for him and just not even him being in a match, have him sit outside. Because and then you got the hint that hey, the winner possibly gets a shot, right? And then you're so that way you're kind of elevating him without even using him in the match, right? Yeah, and obviously, like you just said, yeah, like no longer the title holder anyway. So I mean, there's always, and I'm surprised because obviously, his push started back when Vince McMahon was still around, and then when Vince was gone for those few months, it dwindled, and I guess one of the things that has not rebounded since Vince came back is he has kind of started putting a lot of his old stuff back in, right? The way he kind of treats the show and just certain guys he likes to push, and just I mean, you can tell when a segment is um, Vince McMahon approved versus when like Triple H has been the one running it. And Austin Theory was one of those guys that kind of was benefiting from Vince McMahon being around, and I guess he's one of those individuals that Vince kind of didn't pick up where he left off. He's just kind of like he's like maybe it's not worth my time either. But I'm surprised about it. It's not like like the guy has and he still has potential. He's still a young guy. I think he can come back. Maybe another run in NXT without Johnny Gargano and all that family stuff might do him good, like it has done for other people. But yeah, that I guess his this is kind of just that was a nail in the coffin. Yeah.
I knew his days. I knew he was done at that point. But on the same token, the speculation was that Carlito was going to be in this battle royal. Then that Carlito was the one who's going to sub for the injured Santos, and of course it was Rey Mysterio at the end. Now
Yeah.
my sources are telling me this is going to be a very very quick reign for Mr. Ray. It's not going to last very long. While I hope that Dom will face him and they
Yeah.
unify those belts, the United States Championship, North American Championship. Apparently, what's going to happen? Santos is going to turn on him. Santos may win it, but Theory's going to do some sort of changeover of a gimmick, let him kind of for a while, and he'll come back and reclaim his championship. That's what the sources are saying. But there's a few ways they can go with this thing. I like the Escobar turn. Maybe he can win it. I've always liked Escobar, so I've been rooting for him for a while. Maybe Carlito could come back, but I don't see him really now. If they had their chance, they're not going to do it. Dom would be a great champ, obviously, because what the numbers he's bringing. But maybe they just keep him in NXT for a while and have him defending that belt and just bringing up the NXT brand because they got to bring up the ratings because the TV contracts do. But Theory is not dead yet, but they have to do a gimmick change, and it's obvious. Like he was scruffy, he wasn't doing anything. Like they were just literally
Yeah.
living out there to die. So, but apparently, what LA Knight did win. I don't know if they announced it on TV or not, but they did show clips that he's been doing Slim Jim commercials. So maybe winning the Slim Jim Battle Royal got him a Slim Jim contract.
Okay.
Do you
That's
remember the
good.
former spokesperson for Slim Jim?
No, not at the top of my head.
For many, many years, it was the one, the only, the Macho Man, Randy
Oh,
Savage.
wow. Okay.
And when he went to WCW, he brought Slim Jim along with him, and WWE was not happy about that.
Oh,
But that being said, now they are the biggest sponsor ever of WWE as far as endorsements go. And you know that UFC is lurking in the background there. They are loving this. So more endorsements to come. You're going to see branding on the ring
mhm.
everywhere. Stay tuned. Wherever they can do that, they will. Next match to cover off was my boy Gunther. Remember him? And he did not have a triple threat this time around. It was only against McIntyre. Well, he can beat McIntyre and Sheamus. Was there ever any doubt that he was going to beat McIntyre on his own?
Yeah, no, no, just again, just I don't think I think he's has he crossed Honky Tonk's record now or no?
Not yet, but he's getting
Not yet. Yeah.
close.
So obviously that you kind of knew that that was like because they obviously that was establishing new records, right?
Yes,
So you knew that was there was no way McIntyre was winning the title. He may have won the match, but he may have won the match, but he was not going to win the title, right?
right.
But just as strong as a champion Gunther is at this point, it was not there was no surprise on how that match went. But again, I don't know how much time is left, right, in this historic reign for him to catch up on. But I do like what they're doing with Gable,
Oh
with
yeah.
him against Gunther, right? Like because that's another guy that has lots of potential. I think they messed up on him big time, quite a few years ago when they picked um Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son, as opposed to Gable, who just looks like Kurt and just looks not only looks like Kurt, just that has that Olympic history, has the charisma,
The
like the
pedigree.
funny, yeah, the pedigree, the funny and serious character, just like Kurt. So I think that was a big miss, but again, anyway, that's something in the past. So I do see, I think that's one of the like because obviously we all I think we're going to talk about it in one of the later episodes, but in a few weeks, but like we kind of see Gunther has greener pastures ahead of him, right? So I think if you had to make a short list of who I see dethroning Gunther eventually after his historic reign, Gable's pretty near the top right now, unless they just kind of drop the ball on him because WWE is known for that, where they'll still kind of push a guy and then just kill it just cause. So yeah,
I can see like for Gable, I know he's a Triple H guy.
yeah,
Cody Rhodes pushed for him severely, and when Cody Rhodes came in, that was what Gable needed. You notice there's been no coincidence since Cody's been around. Gable's gone up. Now, there's been a whole side thing with Maxine Dupree and Kaiser. Kaiser's my boy. I'm telling you, live events when Gunther wrestles and Kaiser comes out and does the whole announcement,
Hmm.
it was amazing. Kaiser just nails it every single time. Did you know who Kaiser is actually dating in real life? It is not Maxine Dupree.
No, no, yes, I do know. What's the Tiffany Stratton? Is not, yeah,
Tiffany Stratton, correct.
yes,
So
yes,
back from
yes,
NXT,
yeah.
they have matching washboard abs, so they're very, very happy together. But apparently, Gunther is not very happy with Kaiser. He's definitely not happy with Vinci.
Mhm.
Although Kaiser has gotten some big wins, there's a little bit of disenchantment over there. I still think, from what we said in the previous episode, we need William Regal to come in, manage Imperium, settle all this up, bring back honor to the sacred mat. That's where it's going. But bottom line is McIntyre looked good out there, but not good enough. And there was no doubt that Gunther was not going to lose his belt. He has to beat Honky Tonk Man. That's happening.
Exactly, exactly.
So next match we go into is Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Ricochet, of course, dating the ring announcer Samantha, and she belts him out like anybody. She's got, I think, one of the best voices in the business, so she's awesome. Did we really care about this match?
Not really. I mean, I think obviously two main things behind this match that WWE had. Because if you notice, Logan Paul in individual matches hasn't won, right? Um, there was no way he was being ranged for the title back in Saudi Arabia. That wasn't happening. And then he faced with Seth Rollins, right? So there was no way he was going to beat Seth Rollins. So they now he is that star attraction, right? But you can't have that star attraction lose all the time. Otherwise, people aren't going to take him seriously. They're only going to take him as like, someone who's just there for the spots. So the purpose of this match one was to get him a win, right, in WWE. So Ricochet, being that guy, obviously does not have that level of pull where he can say, "Hey, yeah, I'll face Logan, but I get the win," right? So that was number one because now Logan Paul, even if he loses his next match, at least got one singles W in WWE. And then obviously the second match, hey, when you're trying to bring in views, you go to someone like this. And yeah, with his athleticism and Ricochet's athleticism, you're gonna get that. Hopeful for that. One or two YouTube clips from the match that brings in that social media views, like they did in Money in the Bank, like they did in Royal Rumble, right? So that's what it was for. And obviously Logan wanted to go see brother Jake go box against Nate Diaz, so that's why he had to go on first because he wanted to take a flight to Vegas right after the match. But yeah, I mean they did try to make it interesting, by getting Samantha involved in the storyline toward the end there, right? But just yeah, it is what it is, just kind of nothing bad, nothing good to say about it, I guess. Yeah.
It was okay. Like they got their pop. They're gonna do their double move and get everybody kind of going, and it's gotten kind of cheesy. But on the same token of it, you know what? The thing with Logan, if I was gonna teach Logan Paul, so Logan Paul comes to me and says, Jonathan, teach me how to do in ring work, how to be good on the mic. I would tell him you need to learn to pause a little better. As soon as somebody talks, he immediately responds and kind of goes on and on and on. He needs to learn to pause a little bit, talk a little bit slower, and say less. I think he'd be way more effective on the mic. So, Logan, you listen to this, bring over some Prime, baby. We can talk about this and I can help you out. But regardless, look, he's basically like a circus attraction, fits in well with Ricochet, who's a circus attraction, and they're just going to keep that kind of going. I don't know if Logan's ever going to win. Maybe they're going to throw him the North American Championship, or I keep mixing up with the NXT is the North American or United States Championship. I don't really care. They're the same title. That's why I'm thinking father versus son, Dom versus Ray, unified. I mean, they unified the women's tag team belts. NXT has no women's tag team belts. So why does NXT need a North American Championship or United States Championship? It's a North American in NXT, United States in WWE. Father versus son, unify the belts, give it to Dom, the end. That's where we're going to go with it. But in the meantime, we have nice filler matches. One of the most obvious results out of that card, as we wrap up today's episode, was the women's championship. And I think that one is considered the SmackDown championship, if I'm not mistaken, because Rhea Ripley's got the Raw championship.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
They're all wrestling across all the brands now. So
yeah.
none of it's making sense because Rhea's on every single show. Dom's on every single show. Rollins keeps popping up places. But here's my question for you. So you got this triple threat match. They're going to kill each other. We know this. One is going to get knocked out of the ring. Somebody else is going to come in and quickly cover and win, possibly win the belt. Bianca does that, right? So we have Asuka comes in, does the miss. Asuka gets knocked out. I think Charlotte got pinned, whatever. Boom, Bianca's your new champion. If you're going to come in and cash in your money in the bank, why don't you come in from the crowd quietly, club her with the briefcase, hand it to the ref? Why would you play the music, run down from the ring, give this person a chance to recover and expect you? What do you think about that, Taimoor?
Yeah, no, I just these guys just wanna, like when someone likes the sound of their voice too much. So WWE just can't get over that with this music playing. Like even when I think Jim Cornette has mentioned this quite a few times over the years, right? That's just one of the things that like when
Corny's
someone's doing
drive-through.
when someone's doing a run in, now they would their music has to play because without their music they can't come out and do the interference, right? Only in rare, I guess now in those rare occasions when someone does come in without the music, it just has such a bigger impact, right? So, but I definitely agree with you. I guess for the cash in, they just for that pop, they need to play that music, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Iyo got a huge pop.
Yeah.
Iyo, no doubt she was going to win it.
Mm.
All her bandmates were there with her, Dakota, Bailey, and Celebration. And, somebody's going to turn on somebody, but you know what? She earned it. She's a Triple H person as well. Good on her. I like her having the belt more than Asuka. I think she earned it. I'm really sick of Bianca. She's got to turn already. That'd be good. Maybe she can join the new Hurt business as well and bring in Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and make this whole enterprise. But regardless, Iyo did well. And I think she's going to be holding on to this belt for a little while. I could see her easily going for a run now, 6 months to a year, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have that feud with Bailey. I mean, so that will take you a month and a half, 2 months easily. I mean, possibly Dakota Kai once she's back, she gets a run. Um, Bianca, obviously, you have to give that. She was in Charlotte, so you have. I can see her going all the way to Royal Rumble with it for sure.
And she had one foot out the door. Triple H begged her to come back, and when Triple H begs you to come back, you know that there's a prize coming, and that's where Cody Rhodes is not going to be dethroning Roman Reigns. I still don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point, whoever dethrones Roman may eventually drop it to Cody, or Cody will eventually pick up the United States Championship. But you hang around long enough, they will throw you a bone. Everybody gets the belt. Even Nikki Cross had it. So there you go.
Nikki ASH. Yeah.
And now she's Nikki Cross and
Yeah.
Nikki, whatever the heck she is. So she's heading to Jobber Battle Royals as we speak. We'll be back next week on Professional Wrestling, and we're going to do recap part 2 of SummerSlam 2023 and a lot more matches, including finding out that match where I successfully, in Ford Field, created a chant that absolutely rocked the place. See you soon.